What's going on, guys? It's Crazy Kevin here, and I'm here with CFFC interim champ Morquez Forrest. Marquez, how you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
My man. Now you're 5-0 now. You're the interim champ. Talk to us a little bit about how life is and how your last fight went.
Life is good. It's as it should be at the moment. I still have some holes to fill in. Everyone keeps saying interim. I don't really like that word. So it's giving me that asterisk on the title. But everything's good, man. Everything's good. I'm back to training, slowly getting back into it. So yeah, everything's great.
With you getting back into training and you're 5-0 now, have you heard anything from the CFFC on maybe what's next?
No, I haven't, but I'm glad that we're doing this because I have three options for them. They can either let me wrestle for the or grapple for the Fury competition that's at the 2300 arena, or I heard the 170 title is vacant. I don't mind going up to 170. Or obviously the third option is to wait for Watley. But again, I already told him I want to be active. I don't want to wait around. So that's three options.
I like all three of those options. Now, what excites you about doing a grappling match at with CFFC?
Well, it excites me because I've already talked to CJ and he's a phenomenal wrestler, man. He's I mean even better guy. So I as people know me if they've been following my journey, 3 years of wrestling at East Bay High School, and now I'm at the wrestling club called Mayhem Wrestling. So I would love to test my skills against someone as great as CJ, and just test myself, see how my wrestling's holds up against someone like him. He's a strong guy. We can do it at 185. Like I said, I mean I messaged and I put it on Facebook with Aries. He still ain't respond. So yeah, man, I want to stay busy.
I like it. Now, talking about being busy, you also mentioned maybe moving up a weight class. Is that something you're just looking to do because the belt's on the line, or is that something maybe you could do long term in the future?
No, strictly because the belt's on the line. I can get that double champ status. I feel like that also gives Watley more time to make a decision as well. You know, I'm champ now. That's what I'm doing. So I'm trying to, I want to make my own decisions. I don't want to wait around for someone. So even if I was to fight in July at 170, I would only go up to 170 if it's for the title. When I originally called for the title in the post interview with CM Punk, I thought someone already had it. I remember Raheem losing it, but then I was talking to someone and they did say it was vacant. So that's why I said, hey, I don't have a problem going up to 170. As people know, I fought at 170. I don't mind doing it again.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be a lot of fun for sure. Now, talk to us a little bit about that matchup with Rob here. How did you find some of the holes in his game when you were preparing for him?
Honestly, it's just watching some of his videos, some of his fights, and a lot of the guys in my camp had such a similar style. And also, as I mentioned before, Billy Q fought Burgos, so I kind of already figured how he was going to be aggressive, how he was going to come forward. And yes, I did play possum. I did. It's something I trained, something I work on. And with him being as aggressive, I figured it would work. Uh, and yeah, I just trained my butt off, man. I was just prepared, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. You mentioned before that you've done a little bit of cross training. You've been at Fusion and trained with like guys like Mike Davis and Phil Rowe. Out of all the guys that you've trained with, who do you think has pushed you the most in the gym?
Pushed me the most, I would probably say, man, that's a tough one. In terms of okay, so in terms of sparring, I would say my brother Thor out of Kaizen. I would say him, man, him actually fought for CFFC, the welterweight next gen title. So I would say in terms of sparring, definitely him. I would say in terms of knowledge, I would probably say Mike Davis in terms of the grappling aspect. And then in terms of like the actual business of, hey, you need to take these tough fights. Hey, you need to fight this guy. You need to look for these opponents. I would definitely say Billy Q. I mean, he's a genius, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. Now, something we mentioned before when I was talking to Rob and you at the CFFC press conference, we were talking about Rob's power. Was that something that kind of worried you at all during the camp, or was it like, like we mentioned, you were trained with a lot of good guys, you already felt like you maybe seen it before and you were more than ready?
So I thought I was ready for that, right? Like I mean I've been hit. I've been hit. I would say Phil Rowe probably hit the hardest out of everyone I sparred with. But Rob, when he touched my gloves, I felt how hard he hit. And I was like, oh damn, this dude's hands is like wide. Like I can feel it. So when he touched me a few times, I was like, okay, yeah, this guy he hits hard. So I can see why he put those guys away. Like, luckily I have a chin, but he definitely hits. So I couldn't have prepared for that type of power because when I saw him in person, you don't think of a strong guy. Like when I looked at him, his frame isn't as big, but he definitely hits hard.
Yeah, no, 100%. He definitely does. Now, that matchup was definitely a fun one. Do you think that fight could have been potentially like Dana White Contender Series worthy?
Oh, 100%. I think so. Yeah, man. I think so. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. Now, you did mention, you're the champ now and you want to kind of call the shots a little bit. How long do you think it could take you to potentially get a call to the bigger leagues now?
If I'm being honest, I'm taking everything day by day. But if I had to assume, I would say maybe one more fight. I was watching a couple of fights last night, um, and I can still see where I have improvements to make. I'll never be complacent, so I can definitely keep improving. But I'm taking everything day by day. I do think that I will be getting a call this year, like sometime this year, whether it's for Dana White's Contender Series or short notice. Because, like I said, I'm working my ass off, man.
Mentioned something about short notice because that was going to be my next question because I know the UFC likes to bring a lot of those guys in on short notice. With that being said, now when you were coming out to the cage, with it being a championship fight, did you have a lot of pressure and a lot of stress on your mind going out to that fight, or do you think you were ready to go for that one?
No, I was ready. I was ready to go. I try to make myself as comfortable as possible. So I try to do things that would make me feel like I'm at home. So even looking in the stands and seeing that my family was there, uh, having my music. Obviously, I couldn't do most of the stuff I wanted to do, but it was still enough to where I'm like, oh, I'm home. This is now my home. Like I just create that type of environment for myself.
Yeah, now that was something I did hear from another interview. You mentioned that you couldn't be yourself because maybe it was the Jersey Commission or something like that. Now that you're the champ, do you have a awesome walkout plan for the next one?
Oh yes, yeah, they're gonna listen. If that next fight is here in Tampa, they better be ready. They can say nothing to me at all. It's gonna be crazy. Everyone, it's
That's
gonna
right.
be. I think
That's
I
right.
think people used to come to watch the fights, but now they come to watch they come to watch the walkout to see what type of hairstyle I'm going to have. So I think now it's everything versus just I'm just coming to see him fight.
What inspired you to have these like awesome walkouts and different hairstyles to kind of get the crowd to enjoy your fights?
I'm an entertainer, and definitely watching a lot of WWE and just putting things together. Just putting things together. I love it.
That's awesome. Now you just mentioned WWE. Who was your all-time favorite wrestler?
My all-time favorite wrestler was Shawn Michaels. That's all-time great right there. But second behind him, I would say Stone Cold Steve Austin for sure.
Two great answers. I love it. I love it. Did you catch any of WrestleMania at all with it being in Philly?
I caught a little bit, not as much as I wanted to. I was cutting a lot of weight, so I was trying
Right.
to just when I'm cutting weight, it's hard for me to even watch anything.
No,
No,
But
I understand.
I didn't watch it live, but I caught up.
no, I hear you. I hear you. Now, what do you think is the hardest part about cutting weight for most fighters?
I would say if you have to travel. For me, I would say if you have to travel because I've never had a problem with cutting weight. Um, I just cut weight the wrong way. I think a lot of fighters if they don't think of it as a business, then they're going to do it the wrong way. So I have a nutritionist. I have someone who guides me. Like I have a guy, his one of my buddies, Ben. He breaks down. Okay, you need to eat this much before working out. You need to eat this much after working out. So I have someone that meal preps for me. So you have to be willing to make those sacrifices in order to cut weight the right way. And that's why I've never missed weight before. I've just become more in tune to making sure I do the right things to cut the weight properly and feel great. I felt amazing for that. I had no doubts in my mind. That's the best I felt, and that's the best I've looked.
That's definitely important. Speaking about taking things like a business, one other thing I saw on your social media is you have a little bit of like a merch brand. Talk to us a little bit about your clothing line that you have.
Oh yeah, no, it's Team Reaper. They're making my yes, sir. Let me see if I can show you the back. Well, the clothes on the back.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a few things that I have on there. So if you guys go on my on my Instagram, go to my bio, you can purchase anything from there.
Man, now with you having a bunch of fights in your career now, 5-0 in the pros, and you've had a little bit in the amateur scene as well too. Who do you think was your toughest matchup to prepare for in the gym?
Oh man, toughest matchup. The toughest matchup, I would probably say Nick, only because of the circumstances. It was a 4-day notice, and preparing for that guy, I would have needed more time, but I just went in there with the mindset of this is just going to be a battle. Like I'm just going to go out here and just fight. So I would say that was the hardest to prepare for. When I fought Thor as an amateur, it was tough, but I had the time. Also, fighting Rob, I had the time. But Nick, I didn't have, I had 4 days, a little less than 4 days. So I would definitely say him.
Right. No, that definitely makes sense. Now, one question I always like to ask every fighter I like to bring on the show is I'm a Taekwondo instructor. I've been training my whole life for like 20 years now, and I've been teaching for 6 years now. So I just love what I do. And my question to you is, with all the guys that I have in the gym, what advice would you give to those guys to keep coming into the gym and to keep on getting better and better every single day?
First of all, I've seen some of your kicks, and that is crazy. I believe that you was doing that in pants. I'm gonna just go ahead and say that right now.
I appreciate it.
Now, I can't speak on everyone, but I think it depends on how much do you want to challenge yourself. How much do you want to push yourself? Do you want to keep going with the same guys every single day, even if you know that you've improved a little bit better than them? Do you want to continue to make those improvements to where you feel like you're being challenged and the consistency of wanting to get better? So I think that's what helps.
Yeah, no, 100%. I definitely agree. And like you mentioned too with cross training, how are you basically able to decide, like, when you go to maybe one gym or another gym, how are you basically able to decide what technique is maybe better for you?
It just depends on who I'm fighting. Like, so for this camp specifically, since I knew I was going to be going against someone who's going to be very, very aggressive, I was at South Tampa like almost every week. And I was at Kaizen almost every week. Fusion, I was there maybe once a month for Fusion because Phil Rowe is a little bit bigger. He's a 170, and then Mike Davis. There's levels. Like when I go with him, I have no chance. I can be honest. Like it's hard. Like it's hard grappling with someone like him. Like it's almost like I have no chance. But I want to be in a spot where I'm learning, but I'm also able to work at the same time. So just the decisions I make on that just depends on who I'm fighting and where I'm at in the camp.
100%. No, I definitely agree with you there. And last thing I'd like to ask you here is final message out there to the fans that are going to be watching this video.
Hey man, listen, I'm still very, very underrated. UFC Fight Pass did this video that I watched, and they didn't have me as a top prospect for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't understand it. I don't know who's the guys that's picking these prospects, but I know I'm a top prospect, and you guys keep following me. You guys keep watching the journey. You're going to see me continue to take over.
100%. We're looking forward to the takeover, and thank you so much for coming over. Thank you so much for coming on to the show. Really appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your day, my man.
Absolutely. You too. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day.
Man, you too. Thank you so much.
All right.
All right. Take care.